Would it be? Today we'll be talking about Porsche and its little oopsies.
They did slavery.
Okay, so we start with this guy, Ferdinand Porsche. Ain't he a little cutie? No, he isn't, because he was known to associate himself with a certain unsavory personality of the 1930s and 40s.
We'll call that person X.
But okay, so born in Germany to a blacksmith, he was a prodigy in electrical engineering, yada yada yada, the guy was smart. One of the best engineers of all time. So by the 1900s, when cars started becoming a thing, he thought to himself, yeah, and started working for Mercedes, where he built the SSK. The SSK, of course, stands for Sexy Sex Car, because, I mean, look at this thing, look at its curve, it's a proper villainous car. Und did somebody say villain? Ah, yes, this guy again. Well, believe it or not, this guy was pretty important for the time, and when he asked the best engineers in Germany to build a cheap family car, a people's car, a Volkswagen, holy, it all makes sense now! Porsche jumped at this with his proposal and won the government contract. He did also kind of become friends with Hitler, and I know friendship is magic, but some friendship is a lot of dead Jews. So he won the contract, big whoop, and big whoop it was, producing over 300,000 cars in the first couple of years of production. The happy story unfortunately had to be cut short because that weird mustache friend we talked about earlier slipped and invaded Poland. Now, instead of building cars, Porsche was making tanks. He also bid for the government contract for the production of the Tiger, but this one fell through. Good thing he didn't lose anything or spend time and resources building 100 tank chassis for this new tank, except for the ones that he did. But Porsche didn't just build tanks during the war. He also built other stuff, like the Schwimmwagen. You know why it's called that? Because it schwimms. German is silly, except back then. Back then, German wasn't that silly. But Porsche himself wasn't a bad guy. He really did the hand thing. He ignored his SS rank, and he never wore the Hugo Boss uniforms. Honestly, I don't think he did this because he disagreed with it. I think he just had bad style. This is all great, except for the hundreds of slaves that he employed at his factory. Yeah, such a nice guy. Hey, pot, kettle cold. He says they hit the second tower? But the man was good at what he did. In 1934, the Porsche company was bringing 3,000 Deutschmarks, and by 1944, it was 2 million. But being good at business doesn't stop you from getting arrested at the end of the war. And that's what happened to old Ferdy. Don't feel too bad. He owned slaves. But now, someone had to step up, fill the boots that were now empty. Who else but Ferry, his son? He's here too, I guess? And here he was stepping up as the new CEO of the company. He also got arrested for the creation of the... Hey, Schwimmwagen, we know that one! But he got released to find bail money for his dad. And find it he did, freeing his father from that French prison. But, because the French are the French, they kept him in such horrible condition that he faced irreversible ill health till his final moments. He did own slaves, though. We haven't even built our first Porsche yet, and the OG is gone. But don't worry, the remake is just as good. Because out of the gate, he came out with the Porsche 356. I mean, look at this one's curves, drop top for the ladies. But it was basically a Beetle underneath that looked cool. That's when they revealed this bad boy. The 901, not the 911, not yet. Wait. You know why you have to wait? Guess what? It's the French again. They're being annoying. Again.
You see that the Peugeot actuellement has the patent for any car with name with 3 numbers with 0 in the middle.
So Porsche said, okay, and called it the 911, and the rest is history. What have we learned today? I guess being friends with people with weird mustaches can sometimes work out for you. See ya.